Nothing, and the Blue Devils come out of the locker room really fired up, jumping around, hollering, beating on each other. I hope that carries over into the second half. We have allowed the Red Raiders of Baylor to control that football, to run it right down our throat. And Terry, if you've got any numbers on how many snaps they've had, the pass and the running plays combined, I don't know that we've really had the football that much in the first half.
Tommy, Chattanooga Baylor has run the ball or had the ball 20 possessions. 20 of those they ran the ball, 7 of those through the air. Lebanon also with 27 possessions. As far as Chattanooga Baylor goes, they've run 27 offensive plays. 16 of the times Brian Donjou handled the ball.
So there's not much deception in their offense. They're going to their money man, Donjou, with the football. And it's up to the Blue Devils to try to contain them and to make something happen. Baylor not out on the field yet. Tell you what we'll do. We'll take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the second half. After 1 minute, you're listening to Blue Devil Football on WFMQ Lebanon. Started here as Baylor and Lebanon now both on the field. Sitting here talking to an old friend of mine, Roger Kidwell, who now works with First Tennessee Bank here in Chattanooga. And Roger, a former Cumberland Bulldog baseball player. Good to reminisce a little bit. I wish our circumstances were such that we'd be in a little bit better mood as the Blue Devils trail by a score of 10-0 at the half. Lebanon's going to kick it off to Baylor. Marlowe C., the conventional straight-ahead kicker for Lebanon, it will kick it off. Baylor's in the first time in the playoffs for the first time since 1982. Baylor was a 1973 state champ, and they finished second in 72 and 77. Baylor is technically a Class AA school. They've got an enrollment listed of 532 students, but they choose to play up to the AAA schedule in all sports, much like Father Ryan High School does back at Lebanon. This note of interest, former UT basketball player Austin Clark, who also spent some time as an assistant coach at Middle Tennessee State University, is the athletic director and boys basketball coach here at Baylor. Here with the second half play-by-play call is the voice of Blue Devil football, Bruce Skeen.
See the kickoff. Oaks will stand on the 8 for Baylor. 10-0 at the half. Baylor leads. C comes forward and kicks it high and pretty deep. It'll go in the end zone, and it'll be brought out to the 20. So Marlowe C got a good kick. Baylor will take over on the 20. They're leading 10-0.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders
as we start the third quarter. And going to be the final half for one of these teams. The winner of this football team will have to travel up to Knoxville or Jefferson County next Friday night. Right now, Baylor leading 10-0, and they're out of the huddle. They're in that I set, that Colorado I. Donjou has been their runner. He takes it and he runs it this time up the middle, and we hit him, and he got about 2 and maybe 3 out of it as he crossed the 20 and got close to the 23. And we'll say he got 2.5. Let's give him 3 to the 23. 3-yard pickup by their tailback. And it's 2nd and 7.
Defensively, the same faces for the Blue Devils. We've got Defendahl at the nose, Hicks and Self for the tackles, Skull, Rude, and Kendall the defensive ends.
Lebanon in a 50 with a couple of linebackers. Dillard calling signals and takes it to the full and gives it to the second man through, and he got to the 29, and he got close to a first down. And that play right there has certainly hurt us all night long. We're just not closing it down off tackle. And they're 3rd and a yard.
Second man through. They fake it to the fullback and give it to Donjou as the tackle kind of comes under our defensive tackle, seals off the linebacker. That's the only time they run that blocking scheme, and our guys have just got to do a better job of adjusting and getting to the football.
3rd down and a yard on the 29. We're in the third quarter. We're down 10-0. Take it, and they run the fullback. No, they give it to the second man through, and he got the first down to the 32. We really upended the fullback, but the quarterback, Dillard, pulled it out and handed to Donjou, and he got to the 32, and he got a first down. So he has carried it all 3 times in this half, and he's got 12 yards to go with his 115. He's up to 127 rushing now against a good Lebanon football defensive team. Lebanon in a 50. And the Colorado bone is to the right eye, and they give it to the second man through, and he staggers across the 35. And Donju is a workhorse runner. He got to the 36, give him forward, 2nd and 6. He just seems to keep carrying it every play, and he don't seem to be tiring out any, Tommy.
Kid's got to be in great physical condition, as there is a Baylor player down on the field.
First quarter score from Franklin County.
Taking a look, that player on the ground is Jay Woods, 6 foot, 214 pounds senior. He plays a tackle position for the Red Raiders. 10-13 to play as the trainers now help him off the field. Looks like an ankle or a knee.
Certainly something we don't need in this half is a long drive and killing the clocks. And Baylor right now started on the 20, and they picked up a first down, and now they're 2nd and 6 on their second possession here, our second drive after the first down. They're on the 36. Dillard calling signals, takes it and runs it to their to the tailback, and he's to the 40, and he's about 2.5 yards short of a first down. He's carried it every time this half. Donju, the tailback, is right on the 40. He's got to go to the 42, and he's 3rd and 2.
William Jackson is a replacement at that tackle spot. They list him at 243 pounds, 5'11". He replaced the starter, Jay Woods. Checking into the ball game for Chattanooga Baylor, Michael Oakes, a split receiver who had a great catch in the first half.
3rd and 2 and a long count, and Dillard takes it and he runs it, and he got a first down to the 43. He just pounded off of somebody on the 41, and Donju got to the 44 and got 4. Terry's got 24 yards, I know, this half, and I don't know how many carries. I think that's 6, isn't it?
6 consecutive carries in the second half, Bruce. 21 carries on the game, 139 for the ball game.
So he is carrying the football every single play this half. And they split a man wide to the right, and they run that option, and they pitch it out here to a different man, and we knock him down on the 45 as they run a pitch to number 35, Pete Hall, and he got to the 45 and maybe barely crossed it and got a yard and a yard and a half.
Lee Allison coming up and making the play on the pitch man as they fake it to Donju up the middle and trying to get wide on Lebanon, try to spring a big play. Out of the ball game comes Pete Hall, who was a little shaken up on that hit by our senior strong safety, Lee Allison.
8:30 in the third quarter. They've had the ball 3.5 minutes on this drive. Take it and fake it, and they run on a counter, and we hit him in the backfield. Self-knocked him down back on the 44. We have finally stopped him. Donju was running a delay counter, and we got a tackle through there and knocked him down on the 43. And the first time tonight, I think he's come up -, yards, Terry.
You're exactly right, Bruce. It took 22 carries to do it, but on his 22nd carry, the Lebanon defense stops him for a -2.
It is 3rd down and 10.5. 7:57. And Baylor eating some clock and leading 10-0. They 3rd down now, 10.5. They send a man motion to the left, and they drop back to pass and run a draw. And there he goes to the 50, and he's short of a first down. Donju got about 7 or 8 out of it as they run a draw and got to the midfield stripe. And they're short of a first down about 4 yards. They've got to punt.
Scott Ogle with the tackle for the Blue Devils on Donju. Into kick will be Damon Callahan. Deep to return is Tracy Corley.
They eat up 5 or 4.5 minutes in that drive as we're 7:24 right now on the clock running. We got Corley standing on a 15. Snap is back. We were coming, and we almost roughed him, and he hit it on the 30, and it rolled to the 20, and it rolled to the 16 and went out of bounds. We were coming to try to block it, and he barely got it away, but he got a good roll out of it, Terry, and it rolled all the way to the 16.
All the way to the 16 where it went out of bounds. 34 yards on the punt. Lebanon to take over on their 16 with 7:10 left in the third quarter.
So we need a long drive here. We're down 10. The ball is on about the 15.5 is where they're spotting it. We need to drive 85.5 yards or something like that. 84.5, I guess. Slot right. I set, take it and run our fullback, and he'll get to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So we try to run Dirksen right up the middle, and he got back to the line of scrimmage and got about a half a yard out of it to the 16.
Joe Gardner, the senior, checks in with the play from Blue Devil head coach Mark Medley. Lebanon in the backfield. We've got Dirksen at the fullback, Montoya Crutchfield at the tailback spot. Triplett is the quarterback. Scott Ogle, the tight end. Tracy Corley, the split receiver.
We're in a pro set. Right out to the right, one to the left. We run our tailback. He gets outside. Crutchfield got hit and got knocked down on the 20. Tried to go outside. We run our tailback trying to hit off tackle, and he banked it to the outside and got to the 20 and got knocked down, and we looked like we're looking at third and about 5.5. We've got to go to the 25.5. We're on the 20.
Donjou with the tackle, so he's seeing double duty tonight for Baylor, playing at linebacker, and he's not in there all the time, but they've got him in there right now, and he made the tackle on the corner against Crutchfield.
6 minutes to go in the third quarter, 10-0 Baylor. Take it, we run Crutchfield outside, he won't get much, and he got 2 yards up to the 22. And we kind of played it conservative, and we're going to have to punt. We're on the 22. We're backed up down on our 15. We're on the 22. We've got to punt, and there's 5:37, and the clock is running.
Alex Skullroot will punt for the Blue Devils. Deep to return for Chattanooga Baylor will be Oakes and Callahan.
They'll stand on the 45, Oakes and Callahan. Skullroot will stand on the 10 and punt it away. And it's high up in the, well, not that high, and it's taken and ran to the 50 where we hit him. Drake hit him first, knocked him down on the midfield stripe on the 50. Kind of a line drive kick at that. One that you could return very well. Callahan returned it back to the 50, and they've got good field position.
Terry, what about that kick off the foot of Alex Skullroot?
Tommy, 31 yards on the punt, a 3-yard return. Baylor will take over in good field position at the 50-yard line.
We've only got 5 minutes. They've eat up 7 minutes of this third quarter, and we need 2 scores. We're down 10-0. Baylor loves to run it. Man in motion, and they take it and they run it to their tailback, and he got 4 and maybe got 5. Let's give him 4.5. He got to the 45.5. Donjou carrying the football again, and they just blowed us off the line and got 4.5, and it's 2nd and 6.5.
There's nothing fancy about what the Red Raiders are trying to do. They come with that Colorado eye. They will send the motion man, bring him as a lead blocker, get Donjou behind 2 fullbacks, and just pound it right at you.
They hurry to the line, and they take it, and they run him again, and he got a yard, and we knocked him down, and he got 2, and he got to the 44. That time we stopped him pretty well as they faked it to the full and give it to the second man through. And he got to the 44, and he's going to be 3rd down and 4. He's got to go to the 40.
Hicks, Skullroot, it looked like combined on that tackle on the second man through. Fake to the fullback. 1 hole over, give it to the tailback.
Lebanon needs to hold right here. We're down to 3:47 in the third quarter. Dillard's the quarterback, takes it and runs it, I think, to the fullback, and he got a 1st down. That time they give it to the fullback, and he carried the ball to the 40. That was Andy Moore. He hasn't carried it much at all tonight. He got a 1st down, I believe, and they're going to bring the chains in. Terry, how many times has he carried it? I know not many.
Bruce, that was only his 2nd carry of the night. Donjou carries the ball almost exclusively for this team. 31 running plays, 25 by Donjou. 2 carries for Moore, but an important 1st down for Chattanooga.